I'm Amanda Groover, and welcome to another edition of WGCHS on the Air. Today, we'll be looking at the daily routine of Miss Sandy Young, our school secretary. We'll also be getting tips on how to fill out and file a FAFSA. Plus, we'll have a report on bullying awareness, as well as a report on cafeteria nutrition. But first, here's Callie Edwards with the third segment in our series on the history of Giles County.
As our series on the history of Giles County continues, we find ourselves here, center stage at the local Star Theater. Even though Star has only been an establishment in Pulaski for a few years, the Opera House on the second floor of the building has been around since the 19th century. Can you briefly explain the history behind the Opera House?
I sure can. It was built in 1868 and it closed in the 1930s when movie theaters started to become popular. So it's been empty ever since, and it's just, I just can't describe to you how beautiful the horseshoe balcony. I mean, it's just amazing that something like that has sat all these years with no one to take care of it, and we're very excited to be able to have a hand in bringing this beautiful piece of history back to Giles County. All right, so when we bought the building, we had no idea this was up here. This was a complete surprise. I looked at the roof line and I said, how in the world, what's underneath that big black roof, because it's so huge? And the man who owned it said, let's go up and take a look. Let me show you what we found. We had a small flashlight, walked in, turned the flashlight on, and I sat right down here on the floor and cried. I was just blown away that this could be sitting in Pulaski, Tennessee. Now, it was built by Mr. Ingenue Cox, and he named it Antoinette Hall after his daughter. People in town didn't care for that name for some reason, so he later named it the Pulaski Opera House. We don't know the story, but that's what we were told. Now the ceiling, you can see all the little strips of wood that were up there. The process was called lath and plaster. And what they would do is they would nail all these little tiny strips of wood and then put a couple coats of plaster on it. It was kind of like the drywall of the day.
What's the stage like?
The stage is raked. They call it raked, where it slopes from back to front. The audience is also raked, so that gives you like maximum visibility of the people on the stage. So if you've heard the term upstaging people, that would be where that would come from. Very interesting. They've got the footlights down here. Now these were porcelain fixtures when it was fitted for electricity, but of course prior to that it was gas. So they were, if you can imagine, the gas footlights down here on the front. So this is our Phantom of the Opera House. He kind of watches over the place when we're not here and makes sure that everything's safe, right? Yeah, he said yes.
What can you tell us about the plans for renovating the Opera House?
Right now we're researching grants. That's been our biggest deal, is raising funds for it, obviously, raising awareness. And right now we have received our first state grant, so we have plans and we have an architect hired, and he will be coming and doing some preliminary work for us to see what our first step needs to be. It's going to be done in stages, and we're hoping within 5 years to be able to have some real progress made. The exterior will come down and be rebuilt as it was back in the 1800s. And then upstairs, we're going to try and keep it as original as possible.
How could someone go about getting more information about the Opera House or make an appointment for a tour?
Okay, usually after the shows, I'll announce, that if anyone would like to have a tour, so if you come see one of our performances, we take tour groups up then. If they want information, they can call 931-363-7222 and make an appointment that way. If you'd like to make a donation to our cause, it is tax deductible. Everything we do here, we are a nonprofit 501c3, so everything is tax deductible. And you can call that number also and ask to speak to Cliff, and he will put you in touch with me, and we'll be glad to take you on a tour.
The Opera House here at Star could be considered somewhat of a hidden treasure in Pulaski, but hopefully it won't have to be hidden for much longer. Reporting for WGCHS, I'm Callie Edwards.
Thanks, Callie. And now here's Mary Beth Bailey with our report on cafeteria nutrition.
Cafeteria food. We all seem to have a different opinion about it. Even now, some of you may be salivating over the idea of it, or thanking God that your mother packs your lunch. Today we'll be talking with Mrs. Chaffin, the head of nutrition for Giles County, to see what goes into making the decisions about our food at school. We'll also be asking some of you how you feel about our school food.
And school lunches are dictated by a federal program through the United States Department of Agriculture, or USDA. We're a federally funded program, self-supporting program, We don't receive dollars from the county, and so therefore we have to go by the federal guidelines to provide the nutritional value for students. Our meals they have to consist of less than 30% of the calories from fat, less than 10% of the calories can be from saturated fats. We have some new restrictions coming regarding sodium. Those guidelines have not been established at this point in time. And calories have always been controlled based on the age group of the students that we have.
Why do you choose to bring your lunch?
I choose to bring my lunch because I'm not a particular fan of the lunchroom food. Although there's nothing wrong with it, I cook a lot in my own home, so I bring what I have left over at night.
Minimum requirements as far as whole grain products, at least 50% of our products have to be from whole grain that are bread and grain products. Our milk products can only be 1% milk fat or less. And our fruits and vegetables have to be approximately 6 servings per week of fruits and vegetables that we offer. Obviously, foods have preservatives. Some foods have preservatives in there. We try to buy as much fresh fruits and vegetables as we can. We have tried to increase that tremendously over the last 3 or 4 years at all schools.
What's your opinion on the school's food?
It's pretty good. Some things are better than others, but I do eat school food every day, and I'm usually pretty full.
We have won several awards as far as high servings at breakfast and lunch both. Individual schools have awards posted in their areas, such as the White Glove Award, the Queens of Clean participation. I give individual awards to districts or schools in the district for like special days that they may have, or if they increase their participation, they're encouraging more students to eat, or just the general presentation of the food. What does it look like? How well have they done as far as meeting student needs? If they have student participation, some schools like to have participation with students providing menus. And then we've had some other things that we've been recognized for the Tennessee School Nutrition Association as well. So we have a few things. We're proud.
Reporting for WGCHS, I'm Mary Beth Bailey.
Thanks, Mary Beth. Bullying has become an increasingly important issue in schools throughout the country and is largely misunderstood. Here's Whit Laxon with more.
A bully is often portrayed in movies as a person who either steals someone's lunch money or shoves someone into a locker. But as many juniors here at GCHS are learning, this portrayal of bullying isn't always the case. You may have recently noticed bullying awareness posters throughout the school. These posters were created by juniors who read the novel 13 Reasons Why in their English class.
My students read the novel 13 Reasons Why, and I made them do a poster project about different types of bullying. So they got to choose from physical bullying, verbal bullying, indirect bullying, intimidation, social alienation, cyberbullying, and sexual harassment. And it really gave them a really great idea of exactly what bullying is, because a lot of them didn't know that the things that they had heard or seen or actually done to someone else was bullying. I really hope that my students learn from the project and from the novel that things that may be small to you can be really big to someone else, and it can really affect someone else's life, whether you mean for it to or not.
Bullying is not a subject matter that should be taken lightly, and our administrative staff would have to agree.
If a student is feeling like they're being harassed or bullied or picked on at Giles County High School, they should know that our office is always open. All the administrators, the counselors, we do not want anyone in this school to be uncomfortable. We want everyone to enjoy being here and have the best chance to succeed. So with that, anytime a student feels like they're being picked on, bullied, or made uncomfortable for any reason, they should grab one of the principals in the hallway and say something to us. They can go see us in the cafeteria. They can come to the office. Most of our fights and disputes originate through text messages or Facebook on the weekends especially. Do not put your business on Facebook. Do not send anything on text or print that you don't want other people to see. It's a cowardly way of putting your feelings out there, because I can say what I want to about somebody that's 10 miles away from me. It is against the law to use those techniques now to pick on, make somebody uncomfortable, and bully. So I ask that they please do not do that for their safety and the betterment of our school.
Unfortunately, bullying is a common experience for children and adolescents. But remember, it doesn't have to be. I'm Whit Laxon reporting for WGCHS.
Thanks, Whit. Next up is Emma Birdsong with information on the FAFSA.
As students begin the college application process, they also begin the process of applying for financial aid. The FAFSA is a major part of the financial aid process.
The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. This application is used by most colleges and universities to determine eligibility for financial aid, including grants, educational loans, and work-study programs. 65% of all college students receive some form of financial aid, with the average award being $9,100. We talked to Ms. Marks to find out more about the financial aid process.
FAFSA is a free application. If you fill it out at www.fasfa.gov. It's very important because you need to apply for it in order to go to college, unless you want to pay for college completely on your own. In Tennessee, we have the Hope Lottery Scholarship, so you must fill out the FAFSA in order to receive the Hope Lottery Scholarship. I would fill it out online, obviously, because it's quicker and easier that way than doing the paper form. I would do a pen because that signs it automatically, and you're going to hear back a lot sooner if you do the pen. It's kind of intimidating at first, but it's really not that bad. You need to do it with your parents or whoever claims you on their taxes, because you have to have that tax information in order to fill it out. Well, I really wouldn't think about when it's due. I would think about when it became available. It came available January 1st, so just a couple weeks ago, and the money, some of the free grant money that's financially need-based money goes really quick. There's only a certain amount of it, so it's first come, first serve to certain criteria on need-based, and of course the lottery money can run out as well. So fill it out as soon as possible. There are deadlines for each semester. I think it's September 1st for fall semester, but you'll already have started school by September 1st more than likely. So you need to fill it out really as soon as possible.
Special thanks to Ms. Marks for giving us more information about the FAFSA. We hope this has helped you learn more about the financial aid process. Reporting for WGCHS, I'm Emma Birdsong.
Thanks, Emma. Finally today, a look at a day in the life of the unsung hero who makes this school run, Miss Sandy Young.
Giles County High School.
Get up in the morning from the alarm clock's morning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above and people pushing, people shoving, and the girls who always look pretty. And if your train's on time, you can get to work by 9 and start your slaving job to get your pay. If you ever get annoyed, look at me, I'm self-employed. I love to work at nothing all day. And we've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. We've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business. And I've been working overtime. Work out. Work out.
Thank you.
And that concludes our program for today. Signing off for WGCHS on the Air, I'm Amanda Groover.